Hey, Venom, J23, thanks for joining. MS Netta, Lindley, Lena Tier, Cava Vilvain, Paul, Hockey Manager, good morning, good morning, good morning. D. McCormick, D. McCormick sounds familiar. Hey, Hockey Manager, how's it going? G. Deezy, good to see you. Cava Works. Awesome. Hey, G. Deezy, good to see you. Hi, how's it going? D. McCormick, good to see you as well. Hockey Manager. Awesome. Yeez, good to see you. Good evening from Thailand. Holy cow, that's awesome. Hey, True No Lies. My tailor's in Thailand, Yeez. I got a tailor in Thailand. I think he has a shop in the Regal Hotel. I think it's called the Regal Hotel. He comes here, so I haven't been there to see him yet, but he was just here last week. But yeah, he comes to the U.S. twice a year, and he does all my clothing, like all my shirts and suits and trousers and stuff like that. I'm 6'5". I can't go to the store and buy, you know, stuff at Macy's. It doesn't fit. I can't buy Banana Republic. It's for skinny dudes, skinny, you know, 5'11" dudes. It doesn't work for me. So I'm not fat by no means, but still. Thank you for inviting your friends and followers, Hockey Managers, Sunflower. Thank you for joining us, 1218. Thank you for being in here. Guys, I want to say happy Monday. Mr. Relentless is in the house. Thank you so much for being in here, Mr. Relentless. Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I want to share something with you guys today. Before I do that, quick housekeeping tips. Good morning. Good to see you, H. Styles. Bam, 100. That's right. I want to do some quick housekeeping tips for you guys. I ask you guys to do two things for me and two things only. Do me a huge favor. The first is to invite your friends and followers. Swipe up or swipe right and share the broadcast. Invite people on Twitter, as well as invite people via Periscope. And then the second thing I ask you to do is give me some hearts. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but if you like what I'm saying, tap the screen. But what I really care about is sharing the message out to people. Now, I'm going to introduce myself like in 2 seconds, and then I'm going to go right into the message with regards to the habit that we need to avoid. That is the day that I realized that this was a habit and not a good one, my life changed after that. And the people who are killing it in life, they don't do this anymore. They're actually against it. Like, you don't understand. Like, they have a predisposition to it. So when they feel it coming on or they experience it, they get an emotional and spiritual repulsion from it. Okay? And the people who aren't where they could be, they're stuck in that a lower level of consciousness thinking. That's basically what it is. It's a lower level of consciousness, lower level of awareness. So how many people here know who I am? If you know who I am, put a 1 in the chat box. And if you do, I want to thank you for being here. If you don't, if you don't know who I am, put a 2. If you don't know who I am, put a 2. So then I'll know how to tailor my intro so you know so I can introduce myself. All right. Grateful chick wrist, thank you so much. Lax Ren, thank you so much. Truly blessed, thanks for being in here. I'm also blessed that you're in here as well. Dr. Tracy, thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. Guys, thanks for H Styles, I like saying that. Jim invited you. Jim is awesome, so I'm glad he did. Thank you, Sunflower 1218. Honey gets money, I get money. Honey gets money. Thanks for being in here. I appreciate you being in here. Thank you so much. For those who don't know who I am, my name is ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm a best-selling author of the business book, Start Me Up, The No Business Plan. I'm also the founder of Economics. It's leadership, executive coaching, small business coaching and expansion, and I'm also the prince of pricing. So my main niche, main area expertise is to help companies and businesses, especially in the service space, set their pricing and then raise it so they can maximize their profits. And I do this through working one-on-one, but also online through economics as well. So I talk about my scopes are motivation and business related, marketing, mindset, things in that area. A lot of people don't realize that people want just the tools to start a business or the tools to grow a business or the tools to get customers. But if the mindset's not right, it doesn't matter. I always tell people this. It doesn't matter what deity you believe in. But if that deity showed up, God, Allah, Jesus, whatever it is, if that deity showed up and said to you, do these things, most people wouldn't do them, right? because their beliefs have set a foundation for where they're going. So I always tell people, if you don't like where you are, you need to take a look at the belief structure you have. If you like where you're going, most likely your beliefs are the catalyst to get there. So today, the biggest habit I want to share with you is the problem of complaining and how people complain all the time. And Monday is one of the biggest days of complaint. And the reason why this came up is this morning I wake up, and one of the first things I did was, after I meditated, was I looked at a Facebook group. And in there was someone complaining about something. Complaining, hey, good to see you, B. Bonita. It has been a long time. I've been away, you've been away, I haven't seen each other. Yeah, you've reclaimed your Mondays. I appreciate that. And so what I noticed was this. I noticed in the Facebook group, occasionally people will pose questions in the form of a complaint, right? And it's not like I want to know the answer. It's a question in the form of a complaint. And there are a lot of people who do this. Hey, Marriage of God, good to see you guys. Hey, Beth Hoover 1, good to see you, Beth Hoover. Thank you for being here. Beth Hoover's phenomenal. Nutritionist, fitness expert. Follow her scopes, really informative. She does a great job with stuff. Jay Relentless, Relentless, I'm Relentless. He's also cool as well, so check him out as well. Chris Bunkoff, thanks for coming in here. Thanks for inviting your followers. And so, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. And so, I go to the Facebook group and I started noticing people occasionally, and this is a big Facebook. A lot of you guys probably already know this Facebook group. Good morning, Megan. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here. And a lot of times you notice, this is a big Facebook. Some of you guys are probably members of this. You probably see it a lot. But a lot of times, and there's a few other groups that I'm part of, and it's the same thing. Every so often, actually pretty more frequently than it should be. People will post something in the Facebook group. Thank you, Chris, for being in here. I really appreciate that. I honor your presence. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, B. Bonita. People will put a question in the Facebook group. And basically, it's a complaint in the form of a question. And the reason why I know it's a complaint, because one, it reads as such, but two, the responses are also complaints. And the responses are in addition to the complaining that somebody else, oh, I've noticed this too. I can't believe they do this. Oh, my God, it's ridiculous. Oh, I hate this. I hate it when they do that. I'm so mad. You see what I'm saying? And to me, when I watch this, which habit? The habit of complaint, Nasha 650. The habit of complaint. Oh, cool. Matt Maddox is awesome. And so is his son, Caleb. They're phenomenal. Thanks for being in here. I appreciate that. Sandy's in the house. Yes, I am cheap. Thank you, Sandy, for being in here. She's a financial literacy expert, as well as, she helps you with your debt, she teaches an Amazon course, and how to make side income using Amazon, selling things on Amazon. Phenomenal. Hey, Regulates. Thanks for being in here as well. Yes, Nasha, you're right. And so this is what I noticed. I'm reading these things, and I'm seeing people complain. I don't have a Facebook group yet. I have a few in the works that I'm actually going to release, to go in line with the product I'm releasing. Just on how complaining is horrible for you. Exactly. I'll let you guys know once my Facebook group is up. But you know what? Complaining is horrible for you for so many ways. So you know that saying, misery loves company? There's a reason why misery loves company, because it's true. Right? So part of the reason is we're social beings. We want to be able to, quote unquote, relate to others. And you see that on the good side, but also on the bad side. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's the reason why that saying exists. What's good for one goose is good for all the other goose, aka the gander. It's an excuse given by lazy people. Exactly, Nasha. I completely agree. And so in this particular case, I wake up, I'm looking at this, and this person's complaining about a bunch of things. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of example are you setting for your group and the people who are in it if this is what you're going to complain about? And the reality is, all you need to do is go do a little bit of research and find out what the problem is you have. Come to find out it wasn't really a complaint. It's actually a legitimate thing that's happening. And so the reason why I want to share this message is, if you're not careful, you can be in a Facebook group. You can be amongst friends. You can be at home with your family. You can be on the internet. You can be talking to somebody on the street. Once a complaint starts, it cascades into a downpour of doubt and another mental, emotional, and spiritual nonsense. And what ends up happening more than anything else is it derails you from what you're trying to accomplish. I don't care who you are. I don't care how strong you are as a person. When you hang around enough people who complain, what ends up happening next is you start to join in, even if it's subtle. So that's how it works. What people don't realize is Everything in life starts out subtly. Nothing in life is a big thing. So when you hear somebody who has a drug problem, they didn't just jump head deep into drugs. They didn't dive into coke or heroin. It started out incrementally. Everything starts incrementally. Good habits and bad habits. The habit of complaint you don't just wake up and start complaining. You start complaining over time. You have people around you who keep feeding that need to complain. Complaining is like a garden, right? Exactly. It's contagious. Prince Van Asken, thank you for being here, man. Good to see you, brother. And so if you're not careful, this is why it matters more than anything else. There are people who want to complain most of their lives. I really don't care about those people. That's fine. I wish you well. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy your life, right? They don't have bigger goals. Exactly. People who have hope don't have time for hate. That is my saying. People who have hope don't have time for hate. So whether it's trolls you're dealing with, whether it's somebody over here talking crazy, whether it's somebody hanging around with you, next to you talking or complaining about the weather, complaining about the bus, complaining about the metro, complaining about the subway, the president, whatever it is that they're doing. People who have hope don't have time for hate. So I had dinner with a bunch of very successful people a couple weeks ago, and we're sitting around talking. Yes, the news, be inside out TV. I'm sitting around, we're sitting about successful being multimillionaires, own multiple companies, buy and sell companies, like they're just killing it. And we're having dinner at this restaurant in Bethesda, right outside Washington, D.C. And one of the guys comes up to me, and you can tell by the way someone's talking where their mind is, right? You can tell. And so I'm talking to him, we're listening. He's like, yeah, this and this and this. He's like, you know what I hate the most? I go, what? He's like, I hate people who complain. Like, I can't. It's like, again, it sounds like a complaint, but it was in context. So I'm giving you the short version of it. I don't want to, if I told you the whole story, it would make sense. So we're talking about something else, about someone's attitude and how it's important not to be around that. He's like, I have to stand guard to my mind. I have so many things going on that I'm trying to focus on, that if I'm not careful, I can start complaining and get into a downward spiral of negativity. And that can derail me a day, a week, and cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can even cost me millions of dollars if my head is not in the right place. So there's some of you who are getting ready to launch your business, who are already in business, who are talking to people, who you're selling your clients, you're sharing your message, you're selling it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Sparrowhawk? I got that when I was younger. It's been a long time, but I got that when I was younger. And my skin's a lot better though. It's a lot clearer. And don't have acne, a clear skin, drink a lot of water. I'm phenomenal. So I can still work on this. Allow myself 1 second. Exactly. Hey, regulates. You know what I'm talking about? It's like this. Don't fight your emotions. What you should do is being able to, oh, thanks so much, House Apuka. Claim a solution to progress. Exactly. Guard your thoughts to control your life. Exactly. Your beliefs shape you. So you should be able to experience emotion. But the thing is, your emotions shouldn't control you. Your emotions, when you don't feel like doing something, you shouldn't control what you do. Right? It shouldn't control your actions. It shouldn't have long-term effects on what happens to you. Anger is fine, but within context. Sadness and jealousy is fine within context. Those are all things that are natural and normal to our beings. You get it as a child. You're not taught to be envious or jealous. You're not taught any of these things. These are things that automatically happen in the brain via chemicals. I'm not going to go into the psychology of it, but that's it. So with me, he was saying, this guy I'm talking to, he's like, look, I can't, look how quickly this could spiral. I start complaining about something that someone I know do business with. That sours that relationship. That relationship can cost me millions of dollars. Next thing I know, I'm affecting other companies. And I'm affecting, within the companies, the employees, I'm affecting their livelihood because we could have done a deal that could have enriched the companies and then the employees could have made more money as well. There are so many things that are outside of ourselves that derail us because we allow ourselves to complain about things that are most likely insignificant majority of the time. And complaining doesn't change anything. So when I hear people complain, I literally feel an emotional, like an emotional knife being twisted in my heart. It hurts. I can't be around this. I'm not interested. Right? And so one of the things I want to leave with you with is this. Hey, Catherine, good to see you in here. One thing I want to leave you with is this. Check yourself. Next time you meet somebody and you listen to them complain about something like, oh, I hate this and I hate this boss. And he's like, hey, that's, I'm sorry you feel that way. What can you do? This is what I ask people. What can you do to change that situation? Because what I'm doing is I'm switching the experience of I am the victim to I have a say in it. So I believe in stoicism in that I am at the cause and not the effect of my life, right? Everything that happens to me, I played a role in it for the most part, right? I mean, again, this is a little higher level than a lot of people are willing to put up with in the morning. But let me explain what I mean. So I drove, I had an accident like 3 years ago. I totaled my car like around the corner here from where my office is. It was horrible, destroyed my car. And the thing is, the role I played, it was the other guy's fault. Like that, he turned left in front of me and I hit him. But the reason why I played a role in it is because I decided to take that route. I decided to drive when I drove at that time. I drove the speed that I drove. I drove like everything. I was part of the equation, even if the result wasn't me, right? Even though what happened wasn't my fault, I was part of the equation. And so the thing is, I believe that I am at the cause and not the effect. What happens is when you don't believe you're at the cause and that you're at the effect of life, people can do and push you any sort of way. You start moving around the world like a leaf in the wind, like loose sand, right? Pebbles that are kicked about, right? That are blown, that are picked up by vacuum cleaners and spit out into the street. That's a lot of people are living their lives like pebbles in the wind, like leaves in the wind, like dust in the wind, and they wonder why they're not where they want to be. And complaining is a subset of that. Complaining, you got to understand this, guys. Complaining is a subset of not being grounded in your purpose and being at the cause of what happens to you and not the effect of what happens to you. So you got to understand, be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Oh, that's awesome. I love that, Chris. Holy cow, that's a great one. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Exactly. Oh, that's perfect. You get the analogy. Thermostat, you can control the temperature. Thermometer just records it. There's science to success, and there's science is our mindset to tune in for success. You know what? That's a great point. I completely agree with you. And let me ask one more thing. I want to add one more thing, and I'm out of here because I got to go. So one more thing I would say is this. I don't know if I went to my first funeral a few months ago, and an extended relative of my girlfriend. We went to a funeral of Lowe's. We went to a funeral a few months ago, and it was a Jewish funeral, and I've never been to one, which is fine, but. At the end, what I realized is this: what they do at their cemeteries is they don't put flowers down. Okay, and I'm gonna explain a little point as to what we're talking about. There's a point to this. They don't put flowers down like most other religions at the cemetery. They put flowers down. They're putting like roses and all these arrangements and stuff, right? And in the Jewish religion, when it comes to burying their dead, they put stones on the headstone. There's a small little gravestone of the person's name and when they died, and they put stones on top of it. And the reason why they do that is because the elements of the air, right? The elements of the earth can move things around, right? I'm going to use this. Oh, that's so awesome. That's awesome, Jennifer. And so the elements, so the wind, the rain can like blow away the leaves. They can blow away roses. They can blow away all the flowers, all the arrangements. Yes, they could definitely, Jennifer, whatever you need to use, whatever tools you have, use them. Everything I've gotten from my experience and things that I've read and learned about. So I have no problem with you sharing it. And so what they do on the gravestones is they put stones because the stones are more stable. The stones aren't going to leave. The stones aren't going to get blown away by the wind and by the rain for the most part. Obviously, you can't go and drop a boulder on there, but you see and understand the point. So the symbolism behind it is that stones are have more density to it, and they won't be moved. You understand what I'm saying? So in life, you have to be like a stone, be like a brick. There are a lot of people around you who are like leaves. If I put a brick in the middle of this parking lot and came back a week later and nobody touched it, it would not move an inch. But if I left a leaf, there are leaves here now. There were leaves here yesterday. They're no longer here. If I left a leaf here and came back tomorrow, it would not be here. And there's so many people living their lives in the same manner, and they're not happy. And then they wonder why they're not where they want to be. And they wonder why they're not having what they want to have. They don't make the kind of money they want. They're living their lives like loose leaves in the wind. Don't let that be you. But one way to avoid that is to not complain. Is to avoid complaint, right? Immovable, unshakable, unstoppable. I love it. I love it, Chris. You're awesome, Chris. Thank you, man, for jumping in here. And so I'm gonna follow you real quick. Wellness coach, weight loss. It's awesome, man. Love your transformation. Thanks for being in here. But that's my point, man. Guys, a lot of people complain, and it's subtle. It's like, oh, I hate this. Oh, this person was rude. This sucks. Da da da. And then it turns into a cascade of nonsense. And then after that, your whole part of your day is soured because you wasted it and complaining. If you were about to die within an hour or so, would you waste your time complaining? You'd be happy you had that time. And so if that's the case, then why are we going to do that now when you think you have more time? Because you really don't. 2 people died on the Amtrak train yesterday or 2 days ago from Philly to DC, like coming down south, right? They didn't think they were going to die that day. They probably thought they were going to go play baseball and take their son to a hockey game. And all of a sudden, the 2 of them died after like an Amtrak accident. You don't understand. Guys, you got to get it. I'm 41 years old. I've known a lot of people who've died so far. And so that's for me, that's the fuel that reminds me that time is short, but it's also long if I know what to do with it. So I don't want to live my life like a loose leaf. And the people who live their lives like loose leaves in the wind and don't have purpose are the ones wasting their time complaining. Don't complain. You guys have everything you need to get what you want to succeed in this life. The last thing you want to do is waste valuable time complaining about things that most likely you can't change for the most part. All right. I love you guys. Have a great Monday. Great start to your week.